Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Please stand as you're willing and able for our gathering song, Blessed Spirit of My Life. This was written by Shelley Jackson Denham, a UU Universalist and the Director of Extension and Worship in North Carolina. This text was written as a prayer. Blessed Spirit in my life. We'll get the words on the screen in a moment. Here we go. Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let me find a home in me. Spirit of great mystery, hear the still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, be the source of my intuition. Then when life is done for me, let love be my legacy.
Good morning. Welcome to the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Rodney Lemery, and my pronouns are he and his. For those of you visiting with us today, good morning, and we are really glad that you are spending a little bit of your week with us here in the sanctuary or in Borton Hall today, or perhaps even on our live stream. You can wave if you want. Welcome back if you have not been on campus in a while, so it's nice to see you again. And for those of you who are joining us online, you can join us for a virtual coffee hour, which will be held for 15 minutes after the service. That way you can say hello to people you may have been chatting with in the YouTube chat. And if you're visiting with us today, we hope you will sign a visitor's card either virtually or at the visitors table after our service. A reminder that the first Sundays of the month are the day that following the service that we set aside time for people to sign the membership book. And I would like to remind everyone that following today's coffee hour, there is going to be a really wonderful trunk or treat in our parking lot. Really? No clapping for trunk or treat? You know, it's gay Christmas in my culture, so Halloween's pretty big. So I'll be there with my trunk. I hope to see you there. And welcome to this, our beloved community.
Good morning. My name is Sharon Solstice. Feel free to call me Rosie. I'm a member of your Board of Trustees. My pronouns are she and her. Welcome to our service. We begin our service by reading our mission statement together. We bring to life our Unitarian Universalist values as we seek truth and work for justice, nurture compassion and courage, reach out to each other and to our larger community of faith, bridge the divisions that wound the human family, transform ourselves and our world. We're glad to see all of you. A special welcome for our children and our families. We have a fidget table for the kids in the back, and we have a comfort room for those with sound, for any of you who are visiting with really little kids that are being fussy. If you're with us in person, feel free to join us after the service in Borton Hall. Meet old friends, maybe make some new friends. If you're joining us online, you can meet people in the virtual coffee hour on Zoom. Please remember, the way to make connections is here, connecting on Sunday mornings and beyond. Our weekly email and the Beacon newsletter are good ways to track the many, many events that are happening here. Have you made your bid for love donations yet? And have you saved the date? It's going to be fun. Your board is making contributions, and y'all can too. If you need ideas, you can see the team. They'll be in Borton Hall after the service. You can see me. You can look at recent emails that have come out with lots of ideas. Bid for Love is shaping up to be very fun, so mark your calendars, November 9th, starting at 5 o'clock. I hope to see you there, and welcome. It's good to be together.
So once a month, on Share the Plate Sunday, which is today, we're honored to support a community justice partner with half of our collected offerings. Today, I'm excited to share a brief video with you for this month's recipient, the Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity. Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity is an organization dedicated to advocating for the rights of those who are incarcerated in our broken prison system, as well as tirelessly fighting for the dignity of immigrants.
At the intersection of spirituality and social justice, there is a convergence of people of faith. defending the humanity of immigrants and the dignity of the incarcerated. Because every person is sacred. Compassion has no borders, and love has no walls. The Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity.
So this month, as we are asked to reflect on the impact of vital immigration work, I want to remind us that we have been brought closer to a very much an important, at least for me, adopted family here in our presence, Janet, Prince, and Princess. The Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity is who brought this wonderful family to us. And I can personally attest that my life has been enriched by the presence of these three wonderful and incredible people. And I'm forever grateful to Interfaith Movement for that blessing. So if you wish to contribute to the Interfaith Movement today and are present in the room, please just place your offering in an envelope and mark it Share the Plate, or put Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity on it. And if you're online and you wish to go to MDUUC.org, you can click the Give Now button at the top, then the Donate Now button on the next page, and enter your information with a small note saying Share the Plate or Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity. So thank you in advance for your generosity of offerings. And today we are, because of the big thing that's happening in a couple of weeks or a week, we have decided to move our All Souls service to today. So any of you that might have been a little confused, it's okay. Today's All Souls for us. And so in that venue where we are welcoming those who we have lost from this plane of existence this day, why don't you greet one another and say something to the effect of, "You're happy you're still here."
I love it when you do, you do.
I want to invite you to sing a song called Be Gentle by Leah Morris with me. I'll sing a sentence, you sing it back. Be gentle and kind with your sensitive heart. Be gentle and kind with your sensitive heart. Remember to let it shine. Remember to let it shine. And when you fall down, know that's not who you are. And when you fall down, know that's not who you are. You can rise up singing. You can rise up singing. Now let's sing that verse all together. Be gentle and kind with your sensitive heart. Remember to let it shine. And when you fall down, know that's not who you can rise up singing. And then we're going to do one more verse. When the day hurts, when the day hurts, when your way hurts, when your way hurts, when the day hurts, when the day hurts, when your way hurts, when your way hurts. And then the first verse again, all together. Be gentle and kind with your sensitive heart. Remember to let it shine. And when you fall down, know that's not who you are. You can rise up singing.
Thank you. In the name of all those who belong to this beloved community and who have died in the last year, in the name of friends and family members and other beloveds of this community, and in the name of all those people, millions around the world known and unknown to us, I light this chalice and ask that the best that was in them be also in us as we carry their light forward.
I'd like to invite those who are young and young at heart to come forward for a time for all ages. You guys can scoot all the way in if you want to come over to this side too, that's fine. We're going to turn our attention to the screen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sylvia, and I am here to share a little bit about with you all about Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. This is a holiday celebration celebrated in Mexico and other parts of Latin America, and just wanted to give you a little bit of information about it. So Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is a holiday celebrated in Mexico and by those of Mexican heritage around the world. And while this holiday is typically held around the same time as Halloween, it is not Mexican Halloween. It's a separate holiday with its own traditions and intentions. While Halloween is a spooky type of holiday, Dia de los Muertos is a celebration of life. Many of us know about Day of the Dead from the animated movie Coco, about a 12-year-old boy named Miguel who was accidentally transported to the land of the dead. Well, do you want to know more about the Day of the Dead? Here are 5 traditions about Dia de los Muertos. Dia de los Muertos is always celebrated on November 1st and 2nd. It originates back to pre-Hispanic times with the indigenous peoples of the Aztec, Maya, Toltec, and other Nahua people. These pre-Hispanic cultures considered mourning the dead to be disrespectful because they saw the dead as still being members of the family who come alive through memory and spirit. Once the Spaniards arrived in Mexico, this holiday got intertwined with All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, which are also celebrated on November 1st and 2nd. Today, Dia de los Muertos is typically celebrated on November 1st as a day to remember children who have passed away, and November 2nd to remember adults who have passed. Dia de los Muertos is often misunderstood because it happens around the same time as Halloween and uses symbols such as skulls. But Dia de los Muertos is a celebration of life, of the memories and bonds that tie us together, that most certainly survive one's death into the beyond. It is believed that for a brief 24 hours during Dia de los Muertos, loved ones who have died can be reunited with the living and be a celebration for life. This celebration is energetic, colorful, and designed to demonstrate love and respect for family members who have died. It's believed that those who have died get to join in on the Dia de los Muertos celebrations. Costumes, parades, and dancing are often a large part of the celebration. One way that we celebrate is by creating an ofrenda and an altar to welcome the dead back. People make an ofrenda or an altar at cemeteries or in their homes as an homage to the dead. An ofrenda is different because it's not meant for praying. Instead, the ofrenda is meant to welcome the dead back to the land of the living. These altars may include the deceased one's photos, as well as incense, candies, food, and other items from when they were alive. These items are meant to help attract the souls to visit the living in celebration. Ofrendas are often decorated with marigolds, or the flor de muerto, which translates to flower of the dead. Marigolds are often scattered from the ofrenda to the grave site in small towns as a way to help the souls guide back from their place of rest. Sugar skulls are also a symbol that I'm sure you've seen around, and those are because the souls work up an appetite traveling back from the land of the dead. So food and sugar skulls are brought out and placed as other favorite foods are placed out. Pan de Muerto is another symbol, and it's a Day of the Dead bread that's round and it has little bone shapes on it. And then there's also the Catrina, which is the fancy lady that you see. And that was created by an artist, Jose Guadalupe Posada, back in the 1800s. And behind me, you can see my family ofrenda. And so I have back here, I have pictures of people that have passed in our family, and we light candles. And then I have the sugar skulls. I actually have ceramic skulls on here, and flowers and foods that they used to enjoy. So it's a time to remember the people that have passed behind us, our ancestors, and a time to be happy about all the memories that we have of them. So I hope that you can create your own ofrenda in your house. And, you can just put pictures and candles and flowers and just use it as a time to celebrate and think of all the happy memories that you have with the loved ones that have passed. So Feliz Dia de los Muertos to all of you. And I hope you have learned a little bit today. Thank you.
And now I'd like to invite you to join us in singing our children and youth to their activities.
As you go, may love surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
Good morning. I am Patricia Craven. your worship associate for today, and my pronouns are she and hers. I'm sharing my story today not to engender pity, nor as an expression of being a victim of life circumstances. I am sharing this story to say death and grief is not something to be denied, avoided, shunned, or tried to escape, as if we could actually really do that. I have found it is something to accept and welcome into my life. Now, I had experienced death and loss before 2009. My mom died when I was 5, and at 18, my first love was killed in a car accident. My professional life started by sitting with people who were either dying or grieving a loss. My favorite postcard from 1983, which actually still sits on my dresser today, states, "There is no grief without relief." And there is an image of this dark road with a light at the end. But 2009 came along, and at 1:15 a.m., December 11th, just a little over 1 hour into my 54th birthday, I sat in my sister's hospital room as she took her last breath. 4 months later, April 2010, my oldest brother, and who had been my surrogate father, his heart stopped. 3 siblings down and 1 more to go. May 2013, I received the call from a niece that I didn't even know existed that my last sib had had an aneurysm. 3 hours later, he left this planet. December 4th of that same year, my best friend, chosen sister, a beloved, unexpectedly died of falling and breaking her femur. At this point, I was spent. I was alone without any siblings or parents. I was so disoriented and unable to sit with my pain. I was working about 60 hours a week, which in the past had kept me from really having my grief and keeping it in the background. Luckily, I did not pick up my drink to get the pain away, though after my sister, the food did become a strong ally for me. I finally said, "I surrender. I need something to get me through this." That something was the Friday Grief Group here at MDUUC. I was not a member when I started going to that group. It was there that I had a place where I got to share and hear other stories, not as a leader, but as co-grievers. A place where I found that ways to deeply process these recent losses and losses before them. A place where I could come to realize that as my grief moved through me, those who had died remained. That they were gone physically, but it allowed me, myself, to feel, as long as I allowed myself to feel, there would always be a part of them with me. My mother's boldness and theatrical presence, my father's spiritual life, from my brothers, Chuck, generosity, Michael, vulnerability, Doug's adventurism, Aunt Sarah's cooking of green beans. I cannot fix those beans without feeling her right there on my shoulder. And then Leslie, my dearest friend, her pure compassion and acceptance of others. The poet Rumi writes, "Goodbyes are only for those who love with the eyes, because for those who love with their heart and soul, there is no such thing as separation." As we gather today, may we feel the presence of those whose photos and names we are sharing. Please join me in this very special service. Blessed be. Thank you.
Thank you. And now please rise in body or spirit for our hymn, "Bright Morning Stars Are Rising." This is an American folk song from Appalachia. The composer's name has long been lost, but it invokes a yearning to see those who are no longer with us at home, living the everyday life we so often take for granted. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where are our mothers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? Day is a breaking in my soul. They are sowing seeds of gladness. They are sowing seeds of gladness. They are sowing seeds of gladness. Day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, where are dear fathers? Oh, where are dear fathers? Oh, where are dear fathers? Day is a breaking in my soul. They are in the fields of plowing. They are in the fields of plowing. They are in the fields of plowing. Day is a breaking in my soul.
Today, those of us who are not of Mexican heritage have been invited into a space of cultural significance that honors those who have journeyed before us in this life. I'm hoping that you will join me today to bless this ofrenda and the lived experiences like Sylvia's that helped create a place of remembrance and celebration. Our responsive phrase for this responsive reading is, "We remember them with love and honor their spirits." Can you try that with me? We remember them with love and honor their spirits. Great. We light these candles today to provide our ancestors a path back to us. They symbolize the enduring light of our deceased loved ones. We remember them with love and honor their spirits. The beauty of the marigolds reminds us of the cycle of life, and their smell is said to mark the way to the netherworld and back again for our dead. We remember them with love and honor their spirits. We are asked to leave offerings of nourishment, favorite foods and drink, to invite our ancestors to join us in this sacred moment. We remember them with love and honor their spirits. And now that we have gathered in this shared space, united in gratitude, may we forge connections with those who we have lost. We remember them with love and honor their spirits.
Please remain seated for our meditation song, Comfort Me. During a time when composer Mimi Bornstein-Dobel was feeling unsettled and angry, the words and music of this hymn came to her, bringing peace. Comfort me. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul.
My friends, I am grateful that we are gathered together in this service that we have crafted together over the years to remember those that we have lost. And I'm grateful that Rose Rydell will lead us in these words, a litany that is a shared prayer for all of our voices. Let us begin.
As the nights grow long, we draw closer to our beloved dead, so many newly departed. They pull our heartstrings, beckoning us near. They remind us of the myriad ways our lives are woven together. The patterning of our lives and theirs, so intertwined, so intricate. Each of them birthed the possibility of connection. We mourn those whose wounds keep them from realizing true bonds. Others travel with us through our days, always just a whisper away. Embedded in our words, in our laughter, in our tears. And as we struggle to grasp these seismic shifts in our lives, we remember that we are not alone, just as we now join our voices. Some of them, more newly departed, still seek that cadence of echo. We honor them all, hear their words, act in their memory, and remind them of their home in our hearts.
remember them. We will remember them. We remember them. In the rustling of the leaves and in autumn beauty, we will remember them. We will remember them, remember them in the beginning of the year. And when it ends, remember in the beginning of the year. And when it ends, when we are weary and in need of strength, when we are lost and sick at heart, when we have joys we yearn to share, we will remember them. We remember them. We remember them. As long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us. As we remember them, we remember them.
Good morning. My name is Jana Contreras. I am a member of your Board of Trustees, and I use she, her pronouns. I also can't read with my glasses on. We gather today in reflection and remembrance, honoring the lives of those we have loved and lost. Today, I reflect on the memory of my parents, Jim and Jeanette Scott, who both passed away in early 2020. And in particular, on how their lifelong commitment of time and money to their faith community enhanced their lives and inspired my own involvement with this MDUUC community. As you give today, let your offering be a tribute to the memory of those we have lost and a gift to future generations. I invite you to go to the website, mduuc.org, and click the Give Now button, or place your offering in the baskets as the ushers come forward. The ushers will now receive our offerings. Now please join me in the dedication of our offering. The words will be on the screen. To the work of this community in transforming ourselves and our world, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings.
So, as I said at the beginning, this Thursday, my people celebrate gay Christmas, also known as Halloween. I lived in San Francisco a long time, and that's just what we called it. Huge celebration in the Castro. Wonderful time to celebrate that holiday with your loved ones. And this time of year brings all sorts of global recognition, as we have learned a little bit today. I also have Irish roots. That is actually mostly what I am. And in my home tradition, the Celts celebrated Samhain at this time of year. Also similar to some of the things that we heard earlier, we believe that the veil between the living and the dead thins during this season, allowing us to commune with our loved ones who have passed.
In Mexico, Dia de Muertos, or Day of the Dead, stems from Aztec traditions and is a time for families to gather at the graves of their loved ones, sharing a picnic and sometimes even camping overnight. As we learned today, an ofrenda is central to this beautiful celebration. The Japanese summer festival of Obon is also a time to honor our ancestors. Families enjoy food and festivities while traditionally cleaning their ancestors' graves. Similarly, in Nigeria and Benin, the Yoruba people celebrate Ngungun Festival, where elegantly dressed dancers embody the spirits of ancestors, recounting the story of the past year and offering insights and blessings to the living.
Our Christian ancestors also created the holiday of All Souls Day. And this is especially important to us as Universalists because in our Universalist Christian tradition, we believed that all souls would find salvation even in death, keeping us heretics to the other Christian faith. But today, we gather to honor the memory of all of those that we have loved and lost. For each of these individuals are beloved to us, and they all had their unique stories. Some of them were loving, others faced struggles that made them maybe distant or angry. Some brought joy, while others lived their life steeped in sorrow.
Regardless of their experiences, they shaped our lives. Their hands held ours, and their eyes saw us as we journeyed through life as children, parents, lovers, and friends. They were vibrant, real beings who left us both empty from their absence and filled with their enduring presence within ourselves.
So on this table lie those tokens and memories of parents, siblings, loved ones, family members, and friends. For some of us, the loss is long ago, and our grief has settled into a calm acceptance. And for others, the pain is fresh and unpredictable. It remains with us, raw, even right now, from our loss. So let's take a moment of silence together to remember those as we welcome anyone whose feelings are fresh with grief this year from a loss to process end toward our ofrenda and light a candle on this our altar. all are welcome at this, our communal altar. I'm going to grab a bowl and ring the sound, or ask you to grab that real fast. And when we announce the communal invocation, please speak into the universe the names of those who you are particularly communing with today. And we will light a candle here at the altar for you. So as soon as Rose can help us there.
All are welcome who join us here, whether a picture is present or not, whatever we might believe about what happens in death.
Good morning. I am Linda Russell, and today I was asked to speak about a topic that is near and dear not only to my heart but to my work. When I talk to people about grief and loss, the first thing I ask is, have you dealt with loss before? Our minds automatically go to losing a life, but I want to know who you have lost, but also about your invisible losses, jobs, moving, changing schools, friendships, partners. In other words, what have been the transitions in your life, and how have you learned to deal with them? Because as we look at transitions, there's a before something happened, and then there's an after. And usually when faced with a major transition, our big question is, how will I get through this? When my mother died last Thanksgiving and my sisters and I looked at the logistics of what we knew to come, celebrating her life, clearing out her home of the last 30 years, going through the memories of her 90 years, Mom taught us one thing that has served us in all our transitions, including packing up her life. She taught us how to pivot. She never denied it would be hard. She allowed all the feelings, and she made sure we remembered in those really hard moments to laugh, no matter how hard and scary and sad things were. She told us, you stop to breathe, you recognize the moments when the big feelings come, you catch your breath if you need to, you let the tears come. You can also let others know now is not the time. She allowed for the hard feelings, which she always told us we would get through. When she died, although it felt like we were looking at a blank wall, we knew we would pivot. A few years after my father died, my husband's cancer, which had been in the background amidst about half our 16 years together, took a front seat in our life. We had a 5-year-old we had adopted the year before. He took great joy on his good days when he could walk her up to school and engage in a conversation with the teacher about those doggone sight words that she was learning at school while we were teaching her phonics at home. He was in his mid-50s and I was in my mid-40s, and we were old school together. Throughout this journey, but especially in his last year, I was his advocate, often his voice, many doctor's visits, and my many questions. I fired an oncologist at one point, and there were a lot of pharmacy trips in the middle of the night. Trips to the grocery store, praying that he could eat whatever I picked up since the chemo had robbed his taste buds. I found a couple of wonderful caregivers who came 2 days a week. My stepson took him to chemo, and I put out an SOS to others to come as I was continuing my work just short of full-time as a medical social worker with HIV patients. At one point, my mother and my sister Sonia came to visit. I was furious when my mother hugged his frail body and motioned to me that he was not going to make it. But she let me be angry. And then there was talking to our 5-year-old about what was happening to him. I must take a moment to speak about the importance of talking to children about what is happening, even when it is scary for us as adults. These are teachable moments, modeling how to deal with big transitions. Children will let you know their questions, and they will let you know not only what they need to know, but when you've given them enough. My daughter taught me that the night we visited Sydney at the hospital. I explained on the way there that his hair was falling out due to the chemo. She asked, what should I do? And I told her, just brush it off his head so it doesn't fall in his eyes, and tell him he has a pretty head. And she did. When we had the bedtime story that night, I asked her what she was thinking. She told me, Daddy looks funny, but she liked that she made him smile when she told him his head was pretty. Then she got quiet for a moment, and I thought, uh-oh, oh God, okay, help me understand, help me know what to answer, whatever comes next. She said, can I tell you something? And I said, of course. Her whole face changed as she told me that one of her classmates could drink milk and then blow it out of his nose and make bubbles. I laughed so hard I cried, and I needed those tears. And I also needed her to let me know, okay, Mom, that's heavy enough. Kids will tell you when it's enough. Sydney and I laughed, we talked, we got angry, we continued parenting. We said what we needed each other to know. I was his armor and his protector, the one who answered the phone when he would not, and the one who spoke the truths when he refused. Then came the time when he was in so much pain and he had to go back to the hospital. I remember that morning looking out our window and praying for his healing. The next few days were quite a blur, except for the part where the nurse came in and took the handheld button for the morphine away from me, because I had mistakenly thought that every time he groaned, I was supposed to push the button. And the nurse looked at me and looked at the machine and said that I had actually given him several hours worth of medication in 1 hour. Oops. Later that morning, when the sun came up, I told the nurse I was going to get my daughter and take her to school, and I would come back. Again, the nurse gently said to me, why don't you go get her and bring her back here? Again, I felt that rise of anger because I knew what he was telling me. Then all at once I felt anger, the fear, that blank wall. But I went and I got her and my sister and brought them back to the hospital. I was holding Sydney's hands when he died. Dash was on one side and Sonia was on the other. Dash said quietly, Daddy doesn't look like he's in pain anymore. I realized in that moment that though this was not the healing that I wanted, she was right. He was at peace. I don't always finish things, but there is something incredibly sacred about helping someone finish a life. About 3 months after Sydney died, I learned about this specialty called palliative care, which is different from hospice. It provides support for people while they continue whatever treatment they are going through. But the support is also very much for the loved ones supporting them. I asked God to help me help others navigate this tricky, brutal, messy, scary, hopeful journey. I can sit with others in the darkness and we can look for the light together. That is the work that I do, but it is also what we are called to do when someone we know is in grief. Let them have their feelings, their tears, their anger, the sadness, the joy, and the laughter. Such is the roller coaster of emotions when we grieve. These emotions should not be blunted or hushed or dismissed. We will move through in our heart's own time. The gift of grief is learning how we love, how we move through. The gift of grieving is loving ourselves as we break open and then decide how we're going to put ourselves back together. The gift is knowing that we can. The gift is finding the laughter that we thought we would lose forever. The gift is letting go of the should and dealing with what is. The gift is letting go of what you said because that is not the totality of what there was. the gift of letting go of what they did, because yours is a story that you're continuing to write. When you hit that blank wall, decide what you need in the moment and pivot. Grief is very personal, because how you grieve is your own process, not limited to age or culture or gender or time or place. It is a journey, and we are all travelers. To those of you who have lost someone, I grieve with you. We grieve with you. Grieving is a multi-layered process. It's not one thing, and there's not one way to do it. But there is a healing for all of us. For those who have lost, we have lost, and for us as we move through. May it be so.
Please rise for our closing song, My Life Flows On. My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the ring of far-off hymn that hails a new creation. Though all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music singing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What through the tempest round me roars, I know the truth it liveth. What through the darkness round me flows, songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails to in my spirit, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon dark, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
As the flame of our chalice goes out, may the spirits of our loved ones continue to guide us. While the flame is extinguished in this space, may the fire of our faith burn bright in our hearts until we gather together again.